Amazing. Eric is from Sweden. Sweden.
So I had a question about faith.
Okay.
I listened to you, and to my understanding, you were lost at one time, and then you found Jesus.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
When you found Jesus, so to speak, what gave you the courage to take the plunge to follow him? Because even if you read the Bible, when he tells his disciples to behold, I send you out as sheep amidst the wolves, right?
Yes.
He knows that because they are bringing his word, they will basically putting their lives in danger because people hate the truth, right?
Yes.
So what? And if, when I'm listening to your show, it's not you who are the aggressor. It's always the people that you confront with the truth that attack you.
Yes.
So what made you build up the courage? Because I'm trying to figure out Christianity, and I think that it's the right path. I'm not there yet. I've lived almost 40 years as an atheist, and so I'm starting to understand that it's the truth. But what did you do? What convinced you to take the last step to trust in his word?
Did you say 4 years or 40 years? 40. How old are you?
I'm turning 40 on Tuesday. So that's why I've lived a very secular, nihilistic life for the last 37 years.
So, to be very honest with you, Eric, I have been going to church. I was reading the Bible. I was paying tithe and offering. I would ask the preachers things that I didn't understand about the Bible and other things. And the answers that they were giving me did not cause a change in me. I wasn't really waking up. It just, they didn't have any answers. And so I was doing all the church-going things, but my life was not changing. Within, I was still, I had doubt, I had the fear, I was worried, I overreact to things. And so in all honesty, I remember asking God to let me see myself. I'm like, nothing is really changing. I just asked him to let me see myself. And then one day, because I forgot I had asked, one day I was getting dressed, and I had a quick glimpse of myself within. I saw that within, I had this darkness inside of me. And it wasn't like a night. It was like a wicked darkness. Right. And it happened really fast. It was like a glance at myself within, right? And then I'm like, wow, I didn't know I looked like that on the inside. And so I asked again how to overcome this. What do I do? And then so one day I was just sitting quietly. I wasn't really, how people tell you have to be using words to pray?
Yes.
And so I wanted to overcome the weakness because I didn't feel like a man. I was too insecure and doubtful. I couldn't speak up and things like that. And so I asked God, to just show me how to overcome. And so I'm sitting there wanting to know, and all of a sudden, he allowed me to see that I resented my parents, and especially my mother. Not really my father, but my mother. And he allowed me to see that, and I'm like, wow. I thought what I felt for my mother was love, but it really was emotions that came from anger, from hate. And in that very moment, I realized I needed to forgive her because I knew that once I forgave her, God will forgive me because it says in the Bible, but he allowed me to see and he allowed me to know that I needed to go and forgive her. And my mother came to town. I was 38. And I have to tell you, on the way over to her sister's house, which is my aunt, It was the hardest drive. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And
I
while
can imagine.
and I thought to myself, why am I so afraid to face my mother? And I realized that it was because I resented her. Because she tried to turn me away from my father. She had no patience. She was controlling, right? And I resented her for that. And so I got to the house. I went up the stairs because there were like 2 or 3 stairs. And on my way up, there was 3 steps, maybe 2. It was the hardest steps. It's like I was out of breath almost. And I went in, and she was laughing and talking with her sister. And I called in and told her I need to talk to her. I called into the bedroom, and I just said, I have been resenting you all my life because you were mean and you tried to turn me away from my father, but I realized that you could not help yourself. And I'm sorry for holding that against you. You can't help yourself, just as I can't help myself, right? And in that very moment, everything disappeared. The anger, the doubt, the worry, the insecurity, I had none of that in my body, in my mind, and in my body. And my mother, unlike most mothers, she admitted, she said, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know I'd done that to you. She started crying or whatever. And she said, I'm sorry, I didn't know I'd done that to you. And what she did to me, her mother had done it to her, and I didn't know it because she had never told me, and I never heard my grandmother say she had done that. And she said, I'm sorry, but I didn't know I'd done that to you. And she told me how that had happened to her. But from that point forward, I've not been the same. I have no doubt. I have perfect love. I don't have that emotional love in me anymore. I don't have emotional fear. I have no fear at all. I have perfect peace. Everything just changed. And it was God who caused it to change because it's all spiritual. And no other human being can change you but God. Saying that you believe Jesus died on the cross and he's your Lord and Savior is not going to do it.
Yeah.
You got to be, it's only God who can change you. And so that's how my life changed. He took one spirit away, which was darkness, and brought his spirit back into me and gave me the light. And it's just been amazing ever since.